Good morning. It is 11/11, November 11th, and it is 2021. This morning I'm talking about love and the attributes of godly love. Love is patient. Love is kind, does not envy, does not boast, is not proud, does not dishonor others, is not self-seeking, is not easily angered, keeps no record of wrong, does not delight in evil, rejoices with the truth, always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Man, that list is a heavy list. uh, and I just sit there and think, and I'm like, it's got to be a fruit. It's got to be something that God gives because this is impossible. It seems impossible for me to ever think that I could embody or display or live out this love that is told here. Patient. No, I could be patient. Um, I could be kind. You know, uh, I could possibly not envy. Um, you know, somebody else. Does not boast. I could pull that off. I think is not proud. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously we can be humbled. Um, does not dishonor others. How can I not dishonor others? To always honor others. Um, there's, just trying to process this stuff in my own mind is not self-seeking. That one's a hard one. You know, it seems like my gravitational pull, even like it takes intentionality to not be seeking myself. Because obviously our flesh wants to be comforted. We want to be in comfort. Everything we do, we don't do to. I mean, who really? I mean, who really goes out of their way to be uncomfortable? Who goes out of their way to put themselves in a position they don't want to be in? You know. So our gravitational pull, mine is I automatically gravitate towards being comfortable or seeking my own. So this one that one's a very hard one, just because it breaks a chain or breaks a habit of everything I've ever known. Is not easily angered. Those feelings and emotions that come in uh, for me are hard to not put up a defense or a wall and retaliate and be like, oh yeah, let me tell you, that's a reaction, um, to attacks or to people's um, being deceived or to people that are, misunderstanding or to people that are judging or to people that are, whatever. Like, the anger that rises up, and normally it's because of accusations or um, perception or something. It's normally something from the enemy. Like it's never truth. It's almost never truth. Like, I don't get angry when somebody tells me something that I very clearly did, or I'm something that I'm guilty of, or something I could see that is truth. Like, it's not an angry, it's more of a that's a different feeling. The anger comes when the accusation or the mistruth or the deception or the misunderstanding or um, the lack of trust or stuff like that. uh, but how not to be easily angered. um, so this is something that you know sometimes seems impossible. um, and so for me, I gotta just try and step back, not to be easily angered. So that means before I get angry, to breathe and take a step back. Maybe pray. Not maybe, but most likely pray. Keep no record of wrong. you know, to be able to forgive, and to forget. Keep no record of wrong. I used to always say, I'll forgive you, and I'm quick to it, but I won't forget. So this is saying love keeps no record of this wrong. Will not keep it in this filing cabinet up here to use it later, or to build upon it, to sit there and use it as, a source to remember, judge, or like a lens. These wrongs are like turned into lenses that we see people through because of the things that they've done, or the actions that they display, or the words that come out of their mouth, and we judge them based off this lens of wrongs. To keep no record of them, to wipe that away and be like, start over. That one's hard. Um, does not delight in evil. I definitely have, especially when enemies, do not delight when your enemy fails, or falls, or falters. That's not loving. Um, obviously, I don't feel like I delight in any evil towards. Obviously, I know there's some, I'm sure. um, but it would mostly come from the thought of, or the situation of loving others that are not my family, my friends, my brothers, they're more like my enemies. Always protects. So, and look at these as, it's not just my marriage, it's not just my friends, it's not just my, um, church people, my brethren, and it's the enemies, it's the people that are unlovable. Always protects. To be in a position of protecting, um, trying to stand up for, and not being in a compromise, because I've always struggled with the compromise. How do I love somebody without compromising my beliefs, or compromising the truth? This is where God needs to help me, because what is, how do you walk that line? it's it's crazily hard, and it takes lots of intentional effort. This is not just a feeling. This is not just a, you say it once and it's claim it and you win it. To always trust, to trust those always. And this one is a really hard one. How do I trust those who I don't believe are telling the truth? How do I trust those whose intentions are tainted with the enemy? Or is it that I always trust God? That's a hard one to understand, you know. Always hopes. That one I can understand. That one I can get at least a little bit, that I can always have hope that God will step in, that God will help, that whatever is going on, that He will use this situation for either, to bless somebody, any situation, to bless somebody, or to, um, discipline somebody, or to teach somebody. There's always a hope of an outcome, and sometimes it's through trials that we get this hope, because on the other end of it is when we are, for me anyways, like I hit some brick walls a few times. It took me going down that road of misery to wake me up. And so there's a clear hope for me that I see that can come out of anything. um, Always perseveres, you know always perseveres. So love is perseverant, persistent, um, that it always overcomes, that it love is, um, successful. Love is something that goes through anything, that keeps trudging. That is something that I feel is somewhat attainable. So some of these obviously are hard to deal with. Some of these are not easy to understand the possibility. Um, and as I learn to love those around me, whether it's my wife, whether it's my roommates, whether it's my Christian brothers, whether it's my customers, my enemies, how to walk in this love that, and it's not always about them. Like this is about being obedient to God and his directions and what pleases him, and it pleases him to walk and love those around me. And this love is not a love that I produce. This is a love that he produces. And this is a love that I can't figure out how to do myself. This is something that to me is something that I have this love from him because I love him and he loves me, and it's a relationship with me and him, and then his spirit to me is going to produce this love. Um, and so in my shortcomings, obviously I will never be able to handle all these at all the time. Like who knows, maybe I'll be able to love like this for an hour towards somebody, as I white knuckle it, and I'm like, focused, and I'm like, I got these memorized, and know what they are, and but then I get caught off guard and I slip, and it shows me my infallibility and my need for God, because He is all loving, and I am not. I am in need of Him, and so it just keeps me humble, knowing that um, the uh, the standard that He has set is far beyond anything I can do um, without His help, and so today I seek to learn how to love as an action and not as a feeling. Um, and that means that I'm going to have to face some situations, and I'm going to have to deal with some people in situations that is not warm and fuzzy. And so I need to learn how to love people. Um, Man, that was loud. All right. Have a good day.